Chapter 1. You are listening at FameTV.info. Blue sky, white clouds, green and tall trees, and the border full of a sense of science and technology. Yi Chen opened his bleary eyes and turned lazily. The border full of sense of technology. Yi Chen quickly turned a somersault on the grass, stood up, raised his head, looked at the sky with big eyes, and then stood on the ground petrified, leaving tears of regret. Xiaowu, Wudong, Chior, Orange, those are my lost youth. Yi Chen regrets. Why should he be greedy for these 20,000 years of dreams? Now he wants to finish everything. They are gone. What / the point of living by himself? Well, I / better sleep a little longer. ISN / the drumstick fragrant. Pa. No, I can / go on like this, or even my king will be cheap to the Tang family. Yes, that / it. I want to have fighting spirit. The world is so beautiful. How can you abandon her? Yi Chen stood up again, his face full of fighting spirit. In this life, he will fight for his king. King, I / coming. Yi Chen was so familiar with the huge forest of stars that he flew to the border in the blink of an eye. After 20,000 years of development, human civilization has separated from the era of slash and burn cultivation. Now it is an era of the proliferation of soul guides, and people / living standards have been greatly improved. On the contrary, the soul animals, once the first race in the mainland, have been greatly reduced to protected animals, and are strictly protected by the Hearsay Tower in the Xingdou forest. However, it is said to be protection, but in fact, it is strictly guarded as a criminal. Tall steel fences have been erected on the boundary of the whole forest, and no air soul guides have been set up at high altitude. It really can / even fly a mosquito. Yi Chen has some regrets. Although he has been a soul beast for more than 300,000 years, he laments the development of human civilization for the soul that was once human. After all, it is certain that the development of civilization will sacrifice something, but it is right to sacrifice in exchange for the strength of a civilization. Well, although it looks strong, it still can / stop me. Yi Chen tilted his head and narrowed his eyes. He looked at the steel wall in front of him with a smile. His body became empty and went straight through it. In this shuttle process, Yi Chen clearly felt the internal structure of the city wall. The complex but regularly arranged runes and interlaced networks made him interested in soul guidance technology. He thought he might be a soul mentor when he had time in the future. Is this the outside world? It should be the headquarters of the Hearsay Tower. Go and have a look. After relaxing his waist, Yi Chen was very curious about the outside world. He saw a magnificent science and technology tower not far away. Still remembering the original work, he flew over with excitement. From beginning to end, no one found a fierce beast that had slept for 20,000 years running out of the star forest. Sneeze. Who is scolding me? The eternal east wind sat in the position of the master of the Hearsay Tower, pursed his nose, and his eyes flashed deeply. At his level, there will be no difficulties at all, so there is only one truth. Someone scolded him. Can you detect me? Yi Chen, who was lying on his back, was a little surprised, and her delicate eyes blinked. You should know that he is the only soul beast in Douluo mainland. He has his own talent, which makes him the most mysterious demon among the top 10 fierce beasts. Now someone can detect him. Well, he / not under me. Send a message and ask Zhang Ting to come over. The eternal east wind shouted out. Soon after, a tall and thin boy came in and saluted the eternal east wind. Father, are you looking for me? However, the eternal east wind did not pay attention to the youth, but focused on the documents on the table. Seeing this, the immortal pavilion stood in place and waited quietly. Yi Chen, who had been sitting on the head of the eternal east wind, turned his eyes. He was so close, but he saw that the eternal east wind was secretly glancing at his son, and sent out a spiritual force to scan his whole body, not sparing a pore. After a long time, the eternal east wind seemed to stretch his waist after reading the documents. He looked up and saw the eternal Zhangting station as if he had just found it and said, "Oh, Zhangting, when did you come? Come and sit." "Thank you, father." You just pretend. Yi Chen despised the ugly acting skills of the father and son. "Zhangting, you/V been closed for 2 months. What/s the result? To tell my father, I have broken through the soul sect." The immortal pavilion was shocked and 3 purple soul rings appeared. Seeing the strong smell of his son, Dongfeng stood up and said to him, "Come, let my father see your achievements in these 2 months. Don/T let people down. Don/T worry, father, you will never be disappointed." The first soul skill of Panlong Staff, Panlong Strike. The first soul ring on his body flickered, the eternal Zhangting jumped up, and a simple long stick surrounded by a golden dragon appeared in his hand and hit the eternal east wind. In the face of this powerful momentum, the eternal east wind looked indifferent and didn't/T even move his hands. He just condensed his soul power in front of him to form a passport. The first soul skill of the eternal Zhangting played on it, and his body didn't/T move. The eternal east wind sneered. "Haha, if it/s just like this, you/re too bad." The immortal pavilion did not speak, and the soul power surged again, and the third soul ring lit up. Dragon Soul. The third soul skill, Pan Shan. Roar. The dragon/s eyes on the winding dragon stick glitter with gold, and a virtual shadow of the dragon appears. Under it is a barren mountain. The dragon hovers on the mountain and roars. A stick is like a mountain. Zhangting/s face was ferocious. It was obvious that this stick was his full blow. Seeing this stick, the eternal east wind showed a satisfied smile on his face and thickened the border with soul force. Bang! Under the impact of this blow, even if the soul power barrier was thickened, it was still broken through, but the result was that the pavilion fell to the ground through the ages. Haha, really didn't/T disappoint me. With the increase of the dragon soul, even the soul emperor can/T underestimate this blow. Zhangting, you make me very satisfied. The eternal east wind does not mean praise. Thousands of people lift up the eternal Zhangting. Well, Zhangting, take back the dragon soul. Looking at the dragon soul still staring at him, the eternal east wind smiled and reminded him. Yes, father. The eternal east wind nodded and called for the return of the dragon soul, but the dragon soul in the sky did not move, which surprised him. He called again in his heart and still did not respond, which made him stunned and said, "No. Father, the dragon soul can/T come back." What? Smell the speech. The eternal east wind is also ignorant. The dragon soul does not return to the Panlong staff, which is unheard of. It is said that the martial spirit of the ancestors of the eternal family is only an ordinary long stick. Later, the martial spirit was transformed into a Panlong stick because of the chance to encounter a dying dragon soul beast. It can be said that the dragon soul is closely related to the Panlong stick. Without the dragon soul, the Panlong stick is only an ordinary stick, which is difficult to wait for elegance. Father, do something. The immortal pavilion is in a hurry. He still wants to be a title Douluo. Now without the dragon soul, he may not even be a soul saint. Don/T panic at Zhangting. Try calling again. If you still can/T return, go to your grandpa. He is a demigod and will have a way. The eternal east wind is also anxious, which is related to his son/s future. Roar. Listen to the full novel at FameTV.info, direct link in the description.